And so for me, I think if you can have one person in real life who's parenting the same way as you, it can just give you the confidence to be like, yeah, I got this. Like we can keep doing it this way. But it's hard in real life now too. And we have lost the village, and we can recreate it in ways like this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spoil Your Baby podcast. I'm very excited to have my friend Tracy Gillett here again. Tracy and I are always chatting behind the scenes, having lots of fun together. And so it's always so nice to be together. So welcome, Tracy.
Oh, thank you so much, Korea. And I'm so grateful for your friendship. And yeah, you're right. We're always in the background going, what do you think about this? Help me with that. So yeah.
How do we get all this? How do we get all this good stuff out to parents? Right? That's always the struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have something coming up, which is why we're here today to talk.
Yes.
That I call the parenting event of the year. I think it's just so far above and beyond what parents need, especially parents who are parenting the way that we parent, right? Always hard to define. We're natural parents, nurturing parents, responsive parents, all under that umbrella. But we are not the norm. Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not the norm.
Yeah. Yeah. But we also have so many experts, so much expertise, and so much research, to back up what we, teach people and how we practice with our own children as well. So yeah, I just think your summit's, such a gift. It's also free, which is incredible. And will you tell us a little bit more about it? Because I know this year you also changed it around a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Gria. Thank you. And you are in it. I think this is number 3 that you're in. And this is the 6th annual Raise Good Online Summit, which I can't believe, like every year I say, I'm like, this is the last one. Because it's a bit like birth. You're like, oh my gosh, it's this mountain, it's this marathon. But I absolutely love it. And I love the feedback that comes from parents who tune in, and the confidence that it builds, the inspiration, the empowerment, the sheer amount of education that comes out of it. It's a real week where we get to celebrate parenting this way. I think that was one of the biggest things for me as a new mom. I was like, am I the only one doing this? Am I the only one breastfeeding my 2-year-old or my 3-year-old? Am I the only one bed sharing? And that's really where Raise Good started. And I get so many emails and DMs and comments from people who, when they find what I share, they're suddenly like, oh, I can breathe. Like, it's not just me. So it's a real week to come together and just celebrate. Like, yeah, there are mothers and fathers all over the world parenting like this, and we are not the only ones. And I think, like you mentioned, all of the research that's there, all of the experts that are there that can really bring some solid grounding into why we're parenting this way. I think when science meets instinct, it's this magic that happens. And suddenly mothers can start to trust their intuition, even when they don't fully know why something feels right. When that science is there to back them up, I think it can make the world of difference, especially in the world that we live in right now. So, yeah, I'm thrilled that we get to do it again. And it's just a couple of weeks away. So, yeah, super fun.
It's so much fun. Will you tell us how this one's a little bit different than the previous years too?
Yes. So the first 5 have been interview style conversations on natural parenting. And this year I was feeling like I needed a shift. I wanted to mix things up. I always like to, like, we can experiment in our parenting, bring something new. And I've been talking to my audience about what they really wanted. And a lot of parents were interested in deep dives, real practical sessions on exactly how to do things on sort of not narrower topics, but on topics that they could really tune into the masterclass and then take it and run with it. So they're workshop style masterclasses this year.
Cool.
So I was nervous going into it. I was like, are the incredible people that I'm asking to come and do this, will they be up for it? And I was just amazed and grateful and honored one after another that the people that are on the summit are just so generous with their time, have turned up, given like their best stuff. Like this is
Mhm.
stuff that's normally in premium courses behind the
Yeah.
scenes, and they're sharing it with parents. So it's a workshop style, and then there's also a conversation at the end between me and the expert, asking all the questions that I know parents will be thinking as they're listening to the workshop.
So wonderful. I mean, I think that the generosity of the speakers really kind of tells us about how, wonderful this summit is, right? Everyone's
Oh,
like
thank
so
you.
excited because you have a lot of people who
Oh,
have come back over the years,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
it's such a
Because
joy
it's
to contribute to.
Yeah, I'm all about relationship. Like, that's what we talk about in our parenting, that parenting is through connection. It's about relationship. It's about how we be with our children, how we are with them rather than the things that we're doing. And so I bring that into the work that I do. I love building deep relationships with others like you. Um, and yeah, I think it really, when you can feel that chemistry between people as well, I think it makes a big difference. So yeah, some of like Vanessa Lapointe is back, Dr. Gordon Neufeld is back, Shafali is back, Dr. Deborah McNamara, and I would just, any chance that I get to listen to the wisdom of people like that, take it. Like you will come away changed, and it will change your parenting. Like it's just to be in the presence of people like that who have spent their lives researching their particular area of expertise and then sharing it so generously is just amazing.
Yeah. I was in a live speaking event with all of those speakers, except Dr. Neufeld, but he's speaking at that event this year, which is really cool. And I was in the front row. It was just like my jaw was, dropped the whole time. Like incredible, incredible
Yeah.
knowledge. We can
Yeah. They're
learn something
magic.
from these people at all stages of our parenting journey. And I think what you talked about earlier of like creating both a celebration and a community for parents who are, have a natural parenting style is so important because I hear this from moms all the time. I'm the only one who's doing it this way, and it's, you can lose so much confidence. You can lose so much. You can just question everything so much if you really feel like you're the only one. And I think coming, to the summit every year and just connecting with, there's thousands of people who are coming to learn and connect with each other. It's so important to strengthen natural parenting.
Yeah, yeah. It's that confidence piece. And if people have heard me before, they often hear me talking about James Clear and his book, Atomic Habits, because in that he shares an experiment that started in the 1950s with a man named Solomon Asch. And he did this experiment with students where he would show them different length lines and ask them which two are the same. And so they would pick the two that were the same, but they had planted actors in the experiment who would intentionally choose the wrong answer. And he would watch the students looking around at each other like, oh, shoot, have I chosen the wrong one? And a large proportion of them would change their answer to the wrong answer just to be with the crowd. And then when they were asked about it afterwards, they said things like, well, I saw everybody else doing this, so I thought they must know something I don't know, or they must be smarter than me. And then they repeated the experiment, putting people in who were choosing the correct answer, and just having one or two other people there who were in alignment with how they were feeling gave them the confidence to keep going with their answer, right? And so for me, I think even if you can have one person in real life who's parenting the same way as you, it can just give you the confidence to be like, yeah, I got this. Like, we can keep doing it this way. But it's hard in real life now too. And we have lost the village, and we can recreate it in ways like this. I wish I could just be in a room and have a coffee with every single person at the summit. But this is like amazing to just give parents confidence to be like, yeah, if I want to breastfeed my 18-month-old or my 4-year-old, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I've seen all these other people doing it. Or if I want a bed share, I'm going to do it. Or if I don't want to use a timeout because it feels like I'm going to break connection with my kid, then I'm not going to do it. If I'm interested in homeschooling, I've seen other people doing it. It's not crazy. So yeah, it's just giving people the confidence to, I don't want parents to parent how I parent. I want to give them the confidence and light a path to say there is another way. And I want them to parent consciously how they want to parent. And when we do that, I think real magic can happen.
Completely. A couple things. One is when you were talking about that experiment, I was like thinking about that in relation to parenting, and that just broke my heart to imagine a parent, who is in touch with their intuition, taking a natural parenting sort of style, and then seeing everyone else sleep training, using punishments, all the whole thing, which is mainstream parenting, and just ditching their intuition to go for that, right? That's so heartbreaking. I think more than anything, we want to strengthen that confidence and intuition in those parents. And we also want to get some of those other parents to just check it out. I always say that, like, once you know, you can't unknow the benefits, right?
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
So,
And that happened to me so many times as a new parent. Like, I remember even learning about Peter Gray was in the summit last year, but I remember reading his book and learning the term unschooling, and I was like, oh gosh, this has gone too far. Like, no, what is going on here? But then your curiosity is, you're like, oh, tell me more about that. And suddenly life can feel more interesting.
Yeah.
I think if you know how a movie ends, like, it's not as fun to watch it, but and I think it's like that with parenting. It's this, our mutual friend, Pinky McKay, she talks about surrender not being a dirty word. And I think if you can strengthen your intuition and your confidence, then you can say, like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to look in a year or in 5 years, but I have a confidence in myself that I'm going to figure it out. Because I'm the parent that my kid needs, and I'm the answer that they need.
Yeah.
And then that can give you the freedom to be in the moment instead of making decisions for down the line. You don't even know who your kid is.
Completely.
My child now, he is so different to who he was 18 months ago. And we're making decisions now that I never would have imagined making 18 months ago.
Yes.
But by being responsive and being in relationship, then you're like, oh, I can see what you need now, and it's different. So, yeah, that
love
confidence
that
piece is
idea
huge.
of it just being more fun and life being more fun, there being so many more options, so many new things to learn about and ways to grow for, yourself and your family. We have to, I always say, like, have an open mind whenever I'm doing like a workshop. I'm like, bring a pen, bring a journal, and bring an open mind. And whatever feels good, and whatever you leave. But we plant seeds sometimes that take months, years, decades to grow. And it's so important to be open to that, to having seeds planted, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And your summit spans like many years, right? So we'll talk today a little bit about the day that's most, applicable to babies. But, you're talking about parenting, for lifetime.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And so many of these skills, that we learn with our children when they're young, they're just, a lot of them are just relationship skills that we haven't been taught otherwise. And so it ripples out to, you know, ripples out to my relationship with my husband. Like, this is just how humans are meant to be, right? So, but yes, the summit does span through, typically follows the age of my son. He's 12 now, so we're definitely into the tween and teen stuff. Um, so yeah, but the day that you're on, we always have a day dedicated to new parenthood. I think it's just such an amazing time that if you can get in flow with your baby, then the rest of it's going to come. You're not even going to think about putting your kid in a timeout if you've like avoided sleep training, I think, stuff like that.
So many parents say that, right? Like,
Yeah.
once you start on the path, then, you're questioning everything, right?
Yeah.
Or you're questioning it, and you're also using your own mind to decide everything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Other
You
than the
started
frustration.
strengthening that intuition, right? I remember the first time we were around at a friend's house, and my son, he must have been between 2 and 3, and him and the other little boy were playing, and I don't know what they were doing, but it was annoying the other mum. And so she was like, if you don't stop doing it, I'm going to count to, 3 or whatever. And if you don't stop, then you're going in a timeout. And my ears pricked up. I was like, oh gosh, are we at the timeout age? Like, I had no idea. I
Wow.
was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm like watching to see what's going to happen. And of course he stopped doing the thing straight away with the threat and
Mhm.
of the timeout. But yeah, I remember being like, what? Gosh, it's never crossed my mind to do that. And that's not a judgment on my friend or on another mum. Like, this is what society is telling us how we should parent our kids. They're
Yeah.
telling us to sleep train. They're telling us to put them in timeouts, use punishments, threats, consequences,
Mhm.
squash the behavior. And it's very hard to get off that path. And so that's why things like this summit are amazing,
Mhm.
because it helps to
Mhm.
get you off that path and say, look, there's another way to do it.
Yeah, that like just leads me right into giving a bit of a teaser of my talk, because all of the things that you just said are using a child's nervous system against them, basically, in a lot of ways, right? You're looking at behavior, you're not looking at the state of their nervous system, you're not understanding their stress, their stress states, their safety states, how they learn, how they, eventually do know what behaviors are, pro-social and which ones are destructive in some ways, right? And our little ones are gonna take many years to learn all of this. But we do have to start with that understanding of their nervous system. That's like my biggest message. And so I'm so happy to contribute that to the summit this year for parents, for new parents, and also parents of even 12-year-olds, right? Like, it's never too late to start to understand the stress system and how that develops in your baby and child. So that's my talk. And I'm very excited because my goal is for every parent on earth to at least have some knowledge of this. Because I think, like I said before, once you know, you can't unknow. And you will see your child with brand new eyes after you understand this.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I loved yours as well. And yeah, that unknowing thing, I remember one of the other unknowing things that once I realized, I was like, oh gosh, I'm on this path now. Which brings me into Andrea Olson as a speaker on the same day. And so she's talking about elimination communication, which is like this really long winded way of saying early potty training. And I remember learning about that when I was pregnant. I was like, what? Baby's peeing on the potty? Like, seriously? And again, my curiosity was sparked. And so I went down that path. And Andrea is the queen of EC, which is what we call it for short. And so my son was peeing on the potty at 9 weeks. And I still remember it was a Monday morning. And I remember saying to my husband, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. We'd been using an open diaper. And then I put him on this tiny little potty, and he peed. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is incredible. And so Andrea is coming and giving a masterclass on how to get started with EC. I'm like, even if you're not, it doesn't have to be full time. You can just do it for peas. You
Yep.
can just like, it's
Learn
it's
about it,
amazing.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one other option for parents of
Yeah.
babies, right? And
Exactly.
helps, if you like it, helps develop your presence,
Yeah.
your communication with your baby, and your attunement with your baby
Yeah.
in really
Yeah.
beautiful ways.
Big time. So,
Fantastic, fantastic.
yeah.
Who
So
else is
Andrew is
there?
coming.
Yeah,
We have a new friend, Lane Rebello. She is incredible with baby sign language.
amazing.
She's written, I don't know, 7, 8 books on
Oh,
baby sign
wow.
language, like amazing. And so she's also giving a masterclass on how to get started with baby sign language. So you'll be able to leave that masterclass and go, she's giving you signs to go and get started.
Cool.
And talking about why to do it. And I remember again doing that with my son, and it's like a bit of fun, and it
Mhm.
helps to bridge the gap of connection before they can, verbally express. So that's a super fun and practical one.
Yeah.
And
Love
then we
that.
have Danielle Facey coming to talk about breastfeeding.
Mhm.
But we're talking about breastfeeding beyond babyhood, but the main thing that she's really focusing in on this year is how breastfeeding affects our relationships.
Cool.
And I think that's super important because that can be one of the biggest obstacles to mothers continuing, beyond whatever is acceptable by
So
society, right?
relationships, like, with partners
With
and
partners, with
friends
in-laws.
and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. Interesting.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say breastfeeding relationship is like such a hot topic in my family, like between mother and baby. Like I breastfed my son till he was 3. We still talk about it. He had a word for it. Some babies, if you're not continuing past 6 months, 12 months, which is the norm, right? If people do, um, they're not able to like have the memories and have the word for it and all these beautiful things, not to mention all the other benefits. Um,
Yeah.
but now I've got my nieces. I just spent 2 weeks with my nieces, and the younger one is breastfeeding. She's coming up on 3 as well. And she gets so excited to be like, I got to have boobies and a nap. Like the best part of her day. Um, yeah, it's just such an important part of that relationship. Of
Oh,
um,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. I often say, this was my biggest surprise. This was my biggest surprise, like bed sharing and EC, but breastfeeding, that was huge. And
yeah.
I've shared before, I remember going to my naturopath when my son was 3 months old, and she was like, how long are you going to breastfeed for? And I said, oh, maybe 12 months. And she was like, go to 2 years if you
Oh,
can.
good.
And I
I
remember
thought you were gonna say
saying,
the opposite.
but he won't be a baby anymore. And she was like, he'll always be your baby. And
Yeah,
so we breastfed well beyond 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And I was at that point, I was like, I'm like David Attenborough here. I'm going to see how long this can, like, what does it look like in the wild?
yeah,
When do, milk teeth are called milk teeth for a reason? I've got a blog post on, natural weaning age, like, when can it go to? And again, it's like to celebrate all lengths of breastfeeding.
yes,
If you consciously choose to not breastfeed at all,
yeah,
or if you breastfeed for a day or for a month or for a year or for 5 years, it should all be celebrated
yeah,
and supported. And I think it blindsided me because I hadn't seen that many people in real life breastfeeding.
mhm,
And so it was new to me. And I was thinking about it before we got on the podcast. It was really new to my husband. Like, he wasn't expecting us
mhm,
to breastfeed that long.
yeah,
Um, but and so being able to, listen to Danielle and figure out, like, how can we talk about this in relationship with others so that the obstacles that come up in those relationships don't prematurely end your breastfeeding journey,
yeah,
so that you're not ending it for somebody else.
yes,
It should be between mother and baby, right? However
yeah,
old that baby is.
completely.
And yeah, I'm the same with you. I'm like, man, the my son as well, we can still talk about it. Like it's a part of motherhood that I think is really, I mean, in the 1950s, they say breastfeeding was nearly extinct in most Western
Yeah.
cultures. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's such a loss.
Oh,
It's about so much more than nutrition. It's not,
it's like the last thing on the list. Well, I mean,
yeah.
it was also important because you never had to pack any snacks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I
You
don't
didn't
know
have
how
to
I would
pack
have
a
got
water
through
bottle,
toddlerhood.
really.
Yeah. Like,
But
imagine
yeah,
getting through meltdowns without it.
no idea.
Yeah,
No
I
idea.
don't know.
That's why I think it's so important to plant that seed that in young moms and parents, that it could go, to be
Yeah.
open to it,
Yeah.
being a full term
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. And I know for me, when my naturopath said that, I was like, whoa, seriously? Um, for me, if somebody had told me how long my breastfeeding journey would be on day one, I would have been completely overwhelmed and like, no way, that's crazy. But when you're in it, it's one day at a time.
It
Make a decision,
changes so
one
much,
day at a time. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The frequency changes, where it happens changes, right? Like it's a
yeah,
dynamic relationship. It's not always going to look
yeah.
like how it looks in those
No,
first 6 months, for sure.
no,
Yeah.
no. Becomes twice a day, not like, not
Yeah.
like
I do
breastfeeding
like
baby.
that Danielle's talking about that in other relationships as well. I feel like I was just so set. Like my mom breastfed me and my brother for a long time.
Nice.
And so that was normalized for me.
Yeah,
And so I was just like, you guys can think it's weird, but I'm fine. We're
yeah,
fine.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Um, but it's important. It's really important in the place where it's not seen and it's not modeled at all. When
yeah.
I was breastfeeding him, I I would do it in public all the time, and I would always feel like I was doing a public service for any
Me too.
young woman around me. I was like, this is how we feed babies. Like
Yeah,
you're never going to see it really anywhere.
yeah,
So take a look. This
yeah,
is it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I was the same, but you and I are a bit funny. Like, we just do these crazy things.
Yes. Yeah.
No, they're not crazy.
That's why we're
Um,
here where we are in the world, I
yeah,
think.
like, I'll put my neck on the line for other mums. Like, and it's important. Like, now whenever I see a mum breastfeeding in public, I'm like, I don't wanna be weird, but I'll, walk past and like, give a thumbs up or, like, give a nod. I'm like, "That's awesome." Like, keep going. We live in Canada, but we from Australia and New Zealand, and so on a plane, oh my gosh, breastfeeding was just a savior. Yeah,
On the
like
way up,
all
on
the
the way
different,
down, sleeping through the flight.
yeah, sleeping through the flight. The first flight we took with our little guy, he was 9 months, and we flew to New Zealand. It was a 13-hour flight, and he slept for 3 3-hour chunks. Like, he slept for 9 hours, and there were all these other babies around him. I didn't have to like wait for hot water or
Walk
do
up and
this
down
or
the
that.
aisles and
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So it's not to say it's for everyone, but it's like, if you wanna give it a shot, then we wanna if you wanna, however long you wanna breastfeed, it should be respected and honored.
I did a post a while ago of like, just we're so warned of the like hardships of everything. Of like breastfeeding's so hard. It is. But it also is so good for your baby. Like look it up. There's a million benefits, but so much easier for us. Like, I am a lazy person. Like, I don't like jumping up around and bouncing and doing things. I'm like, my baby was upset. I got to sit down and feed him. He wanted to go to sleep, fed to sleep every single time, right? It just makes everything easier. Everything. And I would think that in those moments. I was like, thank goodness for this because I'm too tired to move.
Exactly. But that's what nature intended, right? Like,
Yeah.
nature wouldn't
Yes.
they're the tools that nature gave us to
Yes.
parent these babies. They also gave us a village that was meant to be like passing the baby around and helping us and all that stuff. So we don't have that anymore.
Yes.
So then to throw out these other tools that we have is just insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, throwing out breastfeeding or throwing out co-sleeping
Yeah.
and just making our lives harder.
Yeah.
Mother Nature wouldn't design it so that new motherhood was so depressing and debilitating, we would be
Yeah,
extinct. Like, it's
completely.
yeah. So
And we were
it's so
thrown off
protective.
the rails by people who weren't mothers,
Yes.
right? So it's just bringing it back to us, which is important,
Yeah.
so important. So
Yeah.
I love Danielle. I'm
Yeah.
so happy that she's
Yeah.
in the I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear her speak because I actually haven't heard her do a talk. So that will be really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's here. And then, of course, Helen Ball, like, living legend.
Legend.
Yeah, her and James McKenna, like, they you and I owe so much to them, as do all
Every
mothers
single
and
family. Anybody who bed shares,
babies.
you would
Yeah.
have no guidance and no,
Yeah.
you know, no information without James and
Yeah.
Helen. Yeah.
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 100%. So
Yeah.
she's just like the queen of and she's so I love her because she's English and she's so straightforward and dry and to the point, and she doesn't sugarcoat. Uh, and bringing it back to your point of this ties into bed sharing as well as breastfeeding. This idea of like, oh, breastfeeding's so hard. Like, yeah, it can be hard, and some moms can have a really hard time, and then we need to get support from a lactation consultant, get the help in there. But we can do hard things. Like, this idea that we should just give up and, like, no, any other part of our lives, running a business like this, it's not easy. I don't wanna be working at, all hours of the night. Like, you push through and you do it because you can do hard things, and we teach our kids that we can do hard things, right? Hiking up a mountain, that's not easy. Watching TV would be way easier. So I think it's, like, really I think we've got into this culture of, yeah, just choosing the most convenient and easy way out, but that's not the most rewarding, and, we wanna have grit, you know, and we wanna learn all throughout our
Completely.
lives. I think it's so important.
Completely. I t
Yeah.
I this has been coming up a lot lately, this topic. The education director at my son's school read a book about, like, you have to be uncomfortable, like, that you have to teach us that we have to be uncomfortable, which really coincided to a lot of chats I've been having with my son about the exact same thing of, like, we have you if you stay comfortable, you don't get to see anything, you don't get to any surprises, you don't get any adventures, you don't get any rewards, right? You just stay stuck somewhere, and so you do have to stretch yourself, you do have to be uncomfortable out of your comfort zone in some ways to accomplish and get rewards. And I would say, like, breastfeeding, bed sharing, the rewards are just, everything. Like, you ask people on their deathbed what memories are their favorite, and it's the baby years. They're so magnified, right? And so I do love that because it is a challenge to get both of those things going, but
Yeah, totally. And
you can do
it's
it.
and it's also, yeah, it doesn't have I think it's so much easier than the other option, but, yeah, I look back on those memories, and I'm sure you'd be the same, like, what I wouldn't give to go back and have one day with my son
Oh,
as,
yeah.
like, a 3-month-old
Oh,
or, like, a 12-month-old, like, you would
100%.
just give the world for that.
100%.
To be awake with him at 3 a.m., I'm like, "Oh," and that doesn't make it easy when it's night after night,
No.
but yeah, we can do hard things,
And you
and,
can be so proud of yourself.
yeah, we need to cheer each other on through it, and not give up and go, "Oh, breastfeeding's hard, just switch."
Mhm.
"Oh, this co-sleeping is hard, just sleep train."
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't say, "Oh, you wanna run a marathon, but it's too hard, just don't do it, just stay home, watch TV."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable. Asking someone out on a first date, going for an interview and getting knocked back, like, all these things in life. There's a book called The Comfort Crisis. I haven't read
That's
it yet,
it.
but I really
That's
wanna
the
read
one that
it.
you mentioned. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't read it, but I
Yeah.
wanna read it because it's like, you know, you go outside in the snow and it's cold, like, you're uncomfortable, like, go and, yeah, face these hard
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
But anyway, Helen Ball, amazing. Like, I asked Helen to come and talk for half an hour on, give us, like, workshop on this. She went beyond that.
Oh,
Like, she was
cool.
just so generous and just the wisdom that she shared, the research, her take on it, what she's seen over her entire career.
Yeah.
I think if mothers come and watch that, like it could
Life
that would be
changing.
enough to just get you through the baby years of sleep.
Yes. Yes.
Um, just to really reset the narrative and question what we're being told, and normalize what you're seeing. And then also to know, like you and I, do this work. Um, if we can normalize what's normal, then we can also recognize when there's a problem. um,
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
yeah, I think Helen's masterclass is just coming along just for that as well is well worth it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait. I will share a link to for everyone to sign up for free in the show notes of this episode and on my social media. And if you're on my newsletter, you get a link too. I will be saying, as I said here, the parenting event of the year. If you're gonna, sign up for one, go for this one. And people also will have a chance to have the library if they choose to keep reference as a reference for their parenting journey, which is wonderful as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And when they
Awesome.
sign up, we send out a summit schedule straight away as well, so you can see day one. I'm sure that the new parenthood day is on day two, but yeah, we'll send out the schedule so that you can see when everyone is, and no matter where you are in the world, it's 24 hours for all of them. So everyone can
Amazing.
speak. Yeah,
Amazing. Well, we have great previews of the baby speakers, and you mentioned some of the other um, you know, big, influential, incredible people who are going to be there. Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
no, just a whole lot of gratitude to you for being part of the summit,
Yeah.
for coming and sharing your wisdom, for everything that
So
you do for
happy to.
me, and yeah, for being here today and sharing it with your audience who are my people as well. So yeah,
Love
thank you
it.
so much.
I love it. And this turned out to be such a great talk. I got to talk about breastfeeding and and bed sharing and all the good things. So it made my day too.
Yeah, oh, it's always
Awesome.
lovely chatting with you, my
All right.
friend.
Well, we'll have you back on the podcast soon.
Sounds good.